Hi everyone, Jamie Taylor here for Mike's Masterclasses. Let me tell you a little bit about my new class, which is called Anatomy of a Standard. So what we do in the class is we look at what those pathways are, we look at how the tune was constructed in the first place, and then we sort of treat the harmony in a modular way so that you have these sort of strings of chords that can be changed up, and you start to see how it is that musicians think about these tunes. It's not on a chord by chord basis, it's a much more flexible thing than that, to do with where you're starting and where you're going. What are the main sort of roadmap points of these songs? Because if you understand that, then you can find your own way through it. You don't have to remember so much information, and you can make it all a lot more individual. So there's really three elements to the class. Number one is how are the tunes constructed in the first instance and on what principles. Number two is how can we change those things around, how can we swap out one harmonic module for another so that we have our own personalised performance. And then finally, how do we lay all of that out on the guitar as I just did. I can have B minor 7 to E7 again as I just did, and then that little cell of two chords will move down. So you'll have B minor 7, E7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A minor 7, D7, and I'm not going to sit here and go through all of them, but you can see how that's going to work. So on and so on. Now this is how the jazz blues progression came into existence. That's how you get from the sort of blues that you might hear, you know, an old style sort of Chicago type blues, how you get from there to Tenor Madness or Now's the Time or something like that. It's a lot of that kind of stuff. And if you're talking about a really advanced blues progression like a Parker blues, Blues for Alice, that kind of thing, really it's all that stuff. So just as Charlie Parker's used the circle of fourths and tritone substitution to create Blues for Alice out of a basic 12 bar, we're going to be able to use some of those kind of devices to find different pathways through the Frank Loesser song that we're talking about. Now I always strive to make these things accessible from different levels of experience. So for the less experienced player, we include a much simplified version of what I just played there. It's all slowed down, there's fewer chords in it, and it's tabbed out on the PDF and notated. And then the more advanced player might want to have a go at playing what I just played, or even better, take the principles behind it and come up with something of your own on a tune of your choice. That's really the main objective. You have this. I've never been in love before. Now all at once it's you forevermore. Okay, that's one A section. Several chords involved, but really, to the experienced eye, to the experienced ear, it's really two things going on. One is the basic 1-6-2-5 turnaround. So B flat G, C minor 7, F7. The G could be a G minor or a G7, it doesn't really matter. And that's followed up with another kind of turnaround, which is the one that gets us from chord 1 to chord 2. And I tend to define turnarounds, little groups of chords, by where they start and where they take us. In this particular instance, it's going to work like this. Okay, so that's how you're able to use that E half diminished. Instead of going back to the 1, you've back cycled a little bit, you've expanded that second turnaround, Obviously we have to make sure that it works with the melody, but here it really does. That's a very nice addition to Frank Loss's original chord sequence. So I really hope some of you will come and check it out and that you'll find it beneficial. Also, I must just mention that I am going to be doing one of these live Q&A webinars with Mike very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Obviously depends when you're watching this, but hopefully that's going to be a regular thing that we'll be doing more often as well. So I'm really looking forward to that because I can't wait to have a little bit more face-to-face interaction with you guys, face-to-face over the internet at least. So hopefully we'll see some of you out there and some of you will check out the class. Once again, goodbye from me and hope to see you soon.